Hello and welcome to A Time to Think, volume something or other. I don't know what the volume number is for this particular recording. It'll be in the description, so don't worry. But either way, when I started thinking about the videos I wanted to record, things I wanted to talk about, that kind of stuff, I sort of wrote up a sort of an outline, which you'll see in the description, for all the videos in this series. In fact, you'll see an outline of the series in the description. This was not part of it. This video was not there in the listing. I added it, recently. And I added it, I started thinking about, what I would want to say on this topic. I started thinking about it recently because I think I was probably feeling particularly sad one day about the loss of my dog, Bandit, who's actually been in the ground for over a year now. And I'm still heartbroken. When I think of him, I still cry a lot more than I care to admit. I love that dog so much. I mean, really truly love that dog. Miss him so much, so very, very much. In fact, this video series is actually dedicated to him. Well, I guess really it should be dedicated to my wife and my children and my dog. But my now gone pup, Bandit. Anyway, I was feeling particularly sad, I think, one day. I was poking around on YouTube and I found a video called Will My Pet Be in Heaven? And it was recorded by a Catholic priest by the name of Father Mike Schmitz, who seems to be an incredibly intelligent man who, like I said, I think he knows, what he's talking about. He seems quite smart. In the video, though, he basically says, in a nutshell, that, if you need your pet to be happy in heaven, if you need your pet to be there, to be happy, that he believes that God will allow your pet to be in heaven. He will bring your pet back to life, and, that animal will be there in heaven with you if that's what it takes to make you happy. But later he also sort of says, well, but the one thought here is that, if you need that pet to be happy in heaven, then maybe you're not ready for heaven. Well, I am not ready then for heaven, and I cannot imagine that I would ever be, ever. I mean, my dog's been gone for a year, over a year now. He's been in the ground. I'm old, my memory's not perfect, but I keep sort of mental notes about things. And I remember thinking, probably around 4 months in, to this year without my dog. I remember thinking at some point that I could only remember maybe a couple of days that I didn't cry. So in the first, at least maybe 4 months after putting him in the ground and burying him, I'm pretty sure that I cried basically every single day. I think there maybe were 2 days, not in a row. No, I didn't get that much of a break. Oh no. Every day I cried about that dog. And most of the time it wasn't just, tear. This was lose your breath kind of crying, you know? Is it right that I cared so much about the dog? I don't know. I don't care about the answer to that, because I did care that much about him. Maybe I shouldn't have, but I did. And that's just the long and short of it. You see, I have to tell you a little something about me so you can kind of get an idea of where I'm coming from. And again, in no way do I want to besmirch or belittle or whatever this Father Schmitz. Like I said, he seems to be an incredibly loving, caring, intelligent man. But I'm not sure. I just felt that I should reply in some way. So here's my reply. To give you an idea of who I am, I was riding my bicycle the other day, and I'm cruising along, and I see a butterfly coming from the side of the road or somewhere off to my right, and it's coming toward the bicycle. And generally, any critter, I'll try my best to avoid. I can't even recall a time where I, changed positions on the bike or on the road to hit an animal and kill it. I mean, that's not who I am. I actually try to avoid even worms and caterpillars. Boy, I'm so crazy. I'm just so crazy. But either way, so I see this butterfly coming toward the bicycle, and I didn't swerve very much to miss it, but I realized pretty quickly that it did not hit the front tire. I did not hit it with the front tire, but I went another foot or two and heard a kind of a popping noise and realized that apparently I had hit it with the back tire. Now, I didn't cry. I mean, on any other day I probably would have, because I'm just that crazy. I'm just that far out there. But I didn't cry. But it did bother me. I mean, it actually bothered me, because I had killed this living thing and I didn't mean to, and it made me kind of sad. It made me feel bad that I had done that, because it was just flying along, minding its own business, and pop, dead, gone, over. Anyway, so yeah, I killed a butterfly and it made me sad. But anyway, so boy, I am pathetic. So pathetic. Anyway, to continue on. So I had a dog, his name is Bandit. Now, I know that animals are not on the same level, so to speak, as humans. I don't believe they're more important than people. I really don't. I mean, I love hamburgers. I love a good thick cheeseburger. I love steak. I believe that there are critters on this planet that really were probably made to be eaten. So that's awful. But there are some others, like dogs, cats, which I guess maybe have been eaten in the past, but I think they're really there more for companionship. There are animals on this planet that we can't eat, that would be poisonous to us. So it's also logical to me that there's animals on this planet that are just really there for us to just enjoy, being around, petting and loving on, Some people make pets out of the craziest things in the world, but I mean, still, hey. Anyway, people that have, there's these videos on YouTube, maybe you've seen, if not, you look for them. These people that rescue bats, and there's this one, I think his name is James, and he's the cutest little thing. Oh my goodness, cutest little thing in the world. So when you have the time, go back to the search box, and I think it's James what is he? He's not a fruit bat. I don't know. Just James and Bat might find it. But anyway, it's a cute little thing. I'd love to pet it. Squeeze it. Pinch its cheeks. Anyway, but my wife said once, actually said this more than once, but she said, if you want someone to care about you, get them to do stuff for you. Now, that sometimes does not work. If you make someone feel that they have to do something for you, then generally they, if they feel pressured to, they're not doing it willingly, and so on, all this resentment will build up, and all that. But that generally, if you get someone to do something for you, that it strengthens that bond, that like I said, if you want someone to care about you, get them to do something for you. And maybe this has some bearing on the whole mother, father, children, all that. Now, I'm not saying that fathers can't love their children. I mean, I have 3, and I would literally die or kill for any of them. No hesitation, no questions asked. If it required my death to save them or any one of them, no hesitation, no questions asked. If that's what it took, do it in a heartbeat. Kill for them if I had to. Don't want to have to kill, but you know how it is. But don't expect that'll ever happen. But anyway, but you know what I'm saying? Would die or kill for my children. Mothers, though, and I know they would do the same in a heartbeat, just like the father would, generally. I mean, I know this isn't always a situation. Some people shouldn't have kids and probably wouldn't feel this kind of love toward their children. But I think maybe mothers have just a little bit more of a sort of an unconditional kind of quality to their love, because generally, and I know this isn't always the case, but generally they're doing more of the, mopping up the vomit and the cleaning up the poo and all this stuff. So they're doing more generally. Like I said, it's not always the case, but generally they're doing more for the child, and so they're caring more about the child. And then going back to the whole, if you want someone to care about you, get them to do stuff for you. Well, mothers do things for their children because they have to, because they're taking care of them and so on. And so it just it strengthens that bond maybe a little bit more than the bond between a child and a father, because again, the mother often, not always the case, but is often the primary caregiver. Well, Bandit, my dog, I was his primary caregiver. Now, I'm not saying my family didn't love my dog. I mean, well, the dog. I won't say he was just my dog. He belonged to the family, and they loved him. And if they noticed that he was out of food, they would feed him. If they noticed he needed water, they would give him water. But sometimes they might not notice. He might be without food for an hour or two before they realized it. I would notice. If I was there, I checked. When the poor little fella at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning would have a seizure, and he had seizures, bless him, I was the one that ran down the stairs half asleep. Miracle that I did not fall and die or break every bone in my fat body. Or maybe I would have just bounced. I don't know. Anyway, I would run down the stairs and find him and put my hand under his head so that when he was in the middle of a seizure, that he wouldn't hurt himself. So I was the one who came down the stairs. So I guess that just made it that much harder on me when he passed. Well, I know that the most important thing in the afterlife, if I get to heaven, and oh well, we'll see. I'm hoping. Fingers are crossed, man. If I get there, I know the most important thing is God, your relationship with Him, because that's really the penultimate. That's your relationship with God is everything. But it won't just be me and Him. There will be other human beings there. There will be people that, if I'm there, that there will be some people that I have met, that I have known here on this earth in the physical form, that I cared about, that I loved, that I spent time with, and all of that. My family, I'm hoping, my children, everybody, all these people. And that's important too. I know that the most important thing is you're there now. You're there in heaven. You're with God. But that's not to say that the other things aren't important at all. They're important too. I mean, as important? Oh, goodness gracious, no. And if God said, no, Pastor Hillbilly, your dog's not going to be here, I'm sorry, I fully expect I would cry, and probably for 100 billion years, likely, and so if what it says in Revelation is right, and that He will wipe away the tears from our eyes, then He's going to be busy, because I'll just cry, because the dog meant that much to me. Should that have been the case again? Maybe not. Maybe I shouldn't have cared so much, but that's who I am. I'm sure I cried when Bambi's mother died, and I'm sure I cried in Old Yeller and all that. Yeah, I got kind of a little bit sad the other day when I hit a butterfly. I mean, gee whiz, people. I'm pathetic. But I love the dog. And, I don't know how heaven could be paradise without Him. I mean, if I, as I said, if God said, no, sorry, no, I'm sure that I would accept it. But if I get there and He loves me and He wants me to be happy, why would He not? Why would He? If it's, I won't know until I get there, and that's if I get there in the first place. But anyway, there are a few things that sort of lead me to believe that, there will be pets in heaven, or whatever. There's a passage that talks specifically about a lion lying down with a lamb. Now, to basically talk about the nature of how things will be, that things that would have normally eaten each other, will not. They'll lie down together. It won't be a thing. If there's snakes, they won't eat nothing. They won't be out there to kill and eat whatever. They'll curl up, or who knows, with, mice and rabbits and stuff. And if my dog's there, then he'll chase squirrels and rabbits, but when he catches them, he'll just lick them in the face. It'll all be good and all of that. But I don't know that there would be Why would there be lions and lambs, but not my puppy? Not my little man? I don't see that, but I don't know. Another thing I think about is Lazarus. Jesus raised him from the dead. Now, God, of course, could have simply chosen not to let him die in the first place. You know? He could have simply said, okay, Lazarus has cancer, but I don't want him to die, so I'm just going to make that go away. And then never had to deal with all this in the first place. So maybe, yeah, there was some part of it that's Jesus showing, I have this power that I can raise the dead. But I think it's more than that, because this was someone, if I remember correctly, and I'm not really a pastor, and I really don't know the Bible like I would like to, and all that, but I'm pretty sure that Jesus had a relationship with Lazarus prior to this, right? I mean, weren't they all they were friends, Mary and Lazarus and Jesus, and I really have to read the Bible soon. All this from memory and me well over half a century old. Anyway, but I think it was more than just to show, hey, look what I can do. I can raise the dead. Ain't that neat? This was someone that he loved. This was someone that meant something to these people that he loved. And he knew how they were hurting. And so it was more than just, let me show you what I can do. I can do tricks. Boom. There's someone that was dead and they're alive now. I think it was more than that. It was because he loved this man. The people he loved this man. And he did it because he wanted to bring him back, to say, look, I can do this for you. You loved him, and I've brought him back to life. And I mean, if it was just a thing where he just wanted to show the power of God, he could have raised anyone from the dead. But he raised this man from the dead because he knew this man, and these people that he loved knew this man, and they were friends, and they were family, and they were buds. I don't know. Seems almost, I don't know, blasphemous to talk in that way, but he raised him from the dead for a reason, and I don't think it was just simply to show the power that God has over death, which obviously is an important, very, very incredible, powerful, but I think it was more to it than that. Anyway, I did want to close with one little quick thought, which is, I won't say unrelated, but not specifically about, pets in heaven and all that, but it's sort of a response to a little note that my father-in-law had written down on a sticky note. He had written down a little note that said, if you hit an animal in the road, with your car, and you don't stop to give it mouth to mouth, then you're a murderer. Now, okay, he doesn't believe that. He wrote that down as sort of a, people on the left, these radical, people actually think you're a murderer if you don't stop and, give an animal mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. And he's really kind of poking, at them. Look how stupid these people are. They think you're a killer if you don't stop and render aid to an animal and it's been hit by a car or, whatever. But here's the thing. If I could stop and render aid to an animal in distress, I would. You see, I would. But the thing that just irks the crap out of me is, it's all, give it mouth to mouth, you know. How do you know mouth to mouth is what it needs? If I've been hit by a car, mouth to mouth might be the farthest thing from what I'm actually needing, you know, at the time. You see, you stop on the side of the road and you pull off and you try to get out there to the middle of the road to save this animal, and you're likely going to get hit by a car. Or if you try to get mouth to mouth, which may or may not be what the critter needs in the first place, it's probably going to bite you. It's probably got internal bleeding and things like that, which means that mouth to mouth is probably not going to do it a darn bit of good, unless it stopped breathing and so on. I'm not a trained vet. I wouldn't know how to give mouth to mouth to a squirrel or a rabbit or turtle or, you know, whatever I happen to hit in the road. It will bother me. It bothers me tremendously if I do hit an animal, and particularly if I see that it's not dead, that it's suffering. I mean, I was biking one day and I saw this snake that had been hit and it was writhing around, and I was so bothered by that. So yeah, no, I'm not going to stop and give a squirrel mouth to mouth because, one, I don't know that that's what it needs. Two, I'm not a vet. Three, you know, mouth, you know, I've not been trained, so I don't know how, you know, how to perform mouth to mouth on a squirrel. I'd probably be hit by a car, you know, trying to do this in the middle of the road with traffic and, you know, what have you. I'm not going to stop traffic to, you know, try to render aid to a creature in the road. The best I can do is likely leave it alone, or if it looks like it's suffering, run over it again. I mean, God, how horrible is that? But this whole making fun of people who care about animals, wow. I mean, no, I don't think pets or animals are more important than humans. And like I said, I eat meat. I'm not going to lie about it. I believe there's creatures on this planet that we're put here for us to devour. God, how awful. Oh. But I think there's also critters on this planet that are here for us to pet and snuggle with too. So anyway, I guess that's pretty much it. I've rambled on way too long about this, so I appreciate that you've taken the time to watch it. I hope you have a good day. I really do. Thanks.